Automobilista 2 Update 1.6 is finally here. A game changer, that word. A word that tends to be thrown around frequently also in the sim racing world, and it's been attached to a few of Automobilista 2's milestone updates. With version 1.6, another of these is set to revamp the sim, but this time it should be a true game changer. Is it? Let's find out. Hi everyone, welcome back to Overtake. I'm Michel and I have to tip my non-existent cap for the progress that Reiza Studios managed to make with AMS2. I always like that title for its graphics to performance ratio and unique track and car combinations. You can have a really good time, especially with the classics and retro stuff, and yeah, the graphics are just amazing, the weather system as well, it just looks great. There was always a thing with Reiza, these like unique track and car combinations. I enjoyed the original AMS a lot, and also Formula Truck, based on R-Factor back in the days. And now we're looking at undoubtedly the biggest update yet, the almost mythical version 1.6 for Automobilista 2. It has so much to offer that we probably won't even get to touch upon everything that's included. It's seriously that big, and Reiza have left almost no stone unturned. Let's start with the most obvious thing, the new content. There's plenty of it, and most of it is IMSA related. Headliner in this case is the Lamborghini, which makes its AMS2 debut in 1.6, including the SC63 hypercar that we already know from LMU, and the Huracan GT3 Evo 2. Adding to that, both the Oreca 07 and the Ligier JSP 270 LMP2 cars make for a sizable chunk of the 2024 IMSA grid, although some manufacturers like Ferrari or Aston Martin are still missing. Meanwhile, 3 tracks that are on the IMSA calendar are part of the update as well. All 3 of them are beloved North American classics. Sim racers get to enjoy Sebring, Road Atlanta and Mosport in 1.6. There's more non-IMSA content too. How about the Alpine lmdh, or the fact that Audi makes its debut with 2 generations of its R8 GT3 plus the R8 GT4 and the Quattro V8 DTM car, 3 of them even for free. In total, there are 13 brand new cars and 2 modified versions of pre-existing ones, plus the 3 tracks. That's a lot of shiny new toys. The 2 paid car DLCs will be €9.99 or US dollars, or your local equivalent per pack. One of them comes with 4 Lambos, the other will feature endurance cars that also includes the Corvette Z06 GT3R. The core of version 1.6 is the reworked physics via Tyre model improvements for all of AMS2's cars. It is very obvious in the GTP cars. Much like in Le Mans Ultimate, the first few turns in a cold car are not pleasant. You will most likely end up in the gravel trap the first time you go out in one of these. No grip, no brakes, no temperatures, a warm-up lap needs proper caution now. On the other hand, catching slides is not as simple as it used to be. Cars are still savable when they break loose, but you have to be quick, and you can feel the impending loss of grip very briefly before the car snaps around, which feels more in line with how other sims handle it. Keeping your tire temps where they should be is very important now, so overdriving them lap after lap will get you nowhere in the long term. The wet weather driving experience is also refined now. The loss of grip on a rubbered-in dry line in the rain was already present, but not very pronounced. And this has changed in 1.6, which encourages drivers to find alternative lines around a track that has transitioned from dry to wet. Meanwhile, Reiza has also put some energy, pun intended, into adapting the GTP's cars' hybrid systems to how they actually work. Previously, they simply provided a boost, but now they are fuel-saving aid, just like in real life. And yes, that means that the sweet sounds of a Cadillac V8 bump start can be replicated in AMS2 as well. Gotta love that rumble. And we also love the sound to you ringing the notification bell and subscribing to our channel. That way you won't miss any new videos if you like what we are doing here, and also make sure to thumbs up. Yeah, that takes care of the most obvious things regarding the physics, but what else has changed? Well, how much time you got today? The UI has been completely reworked, and I mean completely, even down to the car previews. The result is a cleaner look that isn't always perfect, however. I couldn't count the amount of times I almost quit a session on accident because some of the input options look a bit similar. A new feature within this UI are presets. There have been rule presets in AMS2 before, but now they go deeper, changing the look of the main menu depending on the series preset you select. They also automatically define session length, dates and rules, and apply filters to the car and track selection. That way, should you choose the IMSA preset, for instance, you will only get IMSA cars and tracks to choose from, meaning you can indeed run GTP or lmdh grids without the new Alpine. You can also disable these filters despite the presets being active, meaning all tracks and cars in those classes are available again. Overall, we like the new UI. It feels a lot sleeker than the previous one. It also lets you set up things a bit more efficiently. What do you think? AI, a big factor for many sim racers. This has been reworked as well. The aim was to make it more coherent across the board. You know how you always had to adjust the difficulty slider when changing tracks, even in the same class. That's more consistent now, although not in 100% of the cases. No wonder, considering the amount of combos that are possible. You also get more options to customize the AI's behavior. The aggression setting is still there, but in 1.6 you can also set their strengths for acceleration and braking. So if you find that you constantly outbrake them, you can remedy this with the sliders, and the same goes if they always accelerate far from you out of turns no matter what you do. The rate of how often they make mistakes is now also scalable. Our classics retro friend Yannick tried a race in the 1967 F1 cars at Classic Spa, for example, and had an excellent time. Usually this combination was a recipe for disaster once you reached Master King at the very latest, but in 1.6 you can actually have enjoyable AI races when living out your 1960s racing hero fantasy, ideally in VR. Another difficult scenario that works much better in 1.6 are Formula Fords at Brands Hatch. Usually there would be chaos heading into druids, but with the adjusted AI they behave much better. If you prefer racing real humans, however, there's good news as well. Automobilista 2's online mode has received considerable attention, as well with the help of third-party multiplayer platforms such as Low Fuel Motorsport. Yeah, very popular with the ACC community, for example, and also racecraft.online. Netcode has improved, and a recent video by Reiza themselves showed a mostly smooth experience in a 32-car lobby hosted by LFM, Low Fuel Motorsport. A successful integration on platforms like this could really put AMS2 on the map for more players, and could pretty much feed a new hype maybe also for AMS2. There's a big chance now, considering the wide variety of content that is available. We don't know when AMS2 will be on LFM and when it will exactly start, but it should be very soon. There are already achievements and stuff, and just keep an eye out on the Low Fuel Motorsport website if you're interested to race also online. But there's even more. Reiza has made a lot of smaller adjustments too, and some of these smaller details are really cool. For instance, the tire wear is now visualized, which you can best see in open wheelers. You start with a shiny new slick, but by the end of your stint it'll look worse for the wear. And if you are a bit overzealous on the brakes, flat spots will also show up. A nice detail for immersion, and it's just a cool feature. There are also improvements to the shaders and to the audio, which means that V10 F1 Flyby is just that much more hair-raising now. And don't forget the humidity modeling that can result in these little vortex on the edge of rear wings. Vital? Not at all, but still cool to see. One more very minor thing, Reiza seems to have extended their deal with Goodyear somehow, as the iconic tire manufacturer's branding now appears on many more cars. Thus far, it was mostly on the retro Formula cars, but not all of them. The Formula V12, representative of a 1995 Ferrari 412 T2, just looks more complete with the yellow Goodyear markings on its tires rather than just black sidewalls. It is remarkable how 1.6 transforms AMS2 both on the surface and below it, and with the upcoming integration of LFM, like I said, and the subsequently increased multiplayer attention the sim will see, hopefully, it should be in a very strong position heading into 2025. It's an exciting time for us sim racers now with so many options to choose from. Of course, there will be people who do not like AMS2, and that is okay, but there will likely be a lot who change their opinion, and those who already like the sim will probably do so even more now that 1.6 is finally here. The best thing to do is to just try it for yourself. However, we hope you have fun checking out AMS2 version 1.6. Play around with the presets, set up an AI race in your favorite car class from the past, or just dive into a multiplayer session. There should be something for everyone. For more info on Automobilista 2, we prepared a ton of stuff on our website, full content list, DLC guide, and also an ultimate F1 season guide. It's all linked below. That said, thank you for watching. Here's another video for you guys that maybe are about to build their first sim rig. So we have a little guide on the monitor side of things. What kind of aspect ratio, what kind of device should I choose for my first sim racing screen, or maybe triples even. And that's here, and see you next time. Bye bye.